Hey, Nabi here. In this video, I'm going to be going over the patch notes 3.9.4 for the game Cain Castle. As always, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, like the video as it helps me out a lot. And boys, season 32, new update. It is gigantic, man. It is gigantic. Can be controversial. We're going to check it out. This is their new format that they're going with. It's kind of like an English neighbor cafe. The English is still a little off, you know what I'm saying? But, you can't ask for everything. But we're going to go over it right now. No gameplay this time. It is a huge update, so we're just going to go through it. I don't want to drag on the video too long. So July 20th, Mr. Croco season 32. It is the Northern Monster Festival. This is the festival where the skins are based on the invasion chapter bosses. It's a really cool festival, man. But it is not the collab event that we've all been hoping for. I am going to assume they are pushing this the collab event further down because the key art is not done and they have like some other stuff in the agenda, so they're rolling that out first. But no, guys, it is rumored to come soon, man. I assure you, saving those gems will not go for naught. But yeah, so let's go down this list right here. Northern Monster Festival raid reorganization. This is the biggest part of this whole update. A lot of controversy. And then alter relic renewal. This is also freaking huge. It's just kind of getting overshadowed by the raid organization, the reorg. So alter relic renewal, we're gonna look at them. Sees some balancing. That's pretty nice too. I personally don't care about this. 2 new skins, yeah, bugs, awesome. Okay, so let's go through here. Season 32, okay, duration of it, all right. Cain season pass skin, look at this. Oh man, Zero from Zero Alliance is freaking having a day. This is his favorite hero, man. This key art is amazing. Now the in-game model is, I wish it was a little more blingy, you see kind of bling in the key art. There is actually no bling on him. Like it's there, but the colors are kind of flat. Like it's not actual like gold. So let's just look at this. Let's look at this. Boom. I like how he slapped at you with one hand, boy. Look at him. Slap, slap, slap. He actually doesn't have an actual weapon. He just slaps you to death, I love the art. I'm not in love with the in-game model. I do like the effect. There's not like a... Man, usually like the colors aren't popping for me, you know what I'm saying? Like I wish his hair, actually personally, I wish his hair was long. Like I wish they changed his hair like to like a long white or something, like super, like just, I don't know. I feel like the color palette is a little flat, to be honest, for a battle pass skin. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about it. But it is an awesome, the key art is sick, man. Shadow King Cain, look at this key art. But the in-game model, it leaves some space to be desired, I don't know how I feel about it. Let me know. All right, so there are some details about arena, tower, trials, and some raid. I believe I have it up here. Wait, no, it's right here. Yeah, this one. Let's just go over this real quick. This is the calendar. They are not changing the duration of their season calendar, okay? So it is staying the same. It's going to be tower trials, as you know it, into raid for the full 10 days. 10 days, and then, okay, same stuff that we know. Battle pass, same. Some goodies, some stuff. This, okay, we'll go over it. So, yeah, we'll go over it, man. This is the new raid stuff. The rotation is gonna be blood and the greed. Yeah, no. If you haven't checked this out yet, you're like, what the heck are you talking about? Blood and the greed? That sounds awful. But yeah, so let's go back here. Northern Festival. So this is about the festival. I love this festival. This is one of my favorite festivals, by the way. So here's the Northern Festival information. You can get tokens from playing, basically. The returning battle pass skin is going to be Leica. I do like this skin. As a reminder, if you guys don't know, I have a skin playlist full of all of the skins in the game that I update. So if you guys want to check out the sound effects and everything in its glory, check out my playlist that I have on my channel. Bardry is the other one that is returning. This skin is very awesome as well. Yep. Okay. And then the 2 new skins for the Monster Festival is going to be Elf Neria, obviously based on Chapter 5. Chapter 5, right? It's been a while. And then Iron Fist Gidnil is Chapter 6, maybe. I might have that backwards. I'm not sure. This is the Orc one. It's been a while, man. It's been a while. And then existing, you can get all the existing ones, of course. And then we just said that God Pass skin returning, it would be that. And then, okay, so let's go back to the main update. Raid Reorganization. Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna wait. Let's just go over the rest. Okay, let's go over the rest. I'm gonna say raid for last. Okay, we're gonna say raid for last. I'm gonna get my thoughts on it, but yeah, let's go. There's some balance. Okay, we'll go over the balance next. So about this update is freaking meaty, man. So Yan, so they are changing, or they're okay. So they are changing the level 8 potential and then adding to its base skill. So the base skill now hits more times, which is nice. Level 8 used to do a +1 count, but now they are changing it to up to 2 waves of the skill can be on the battlefield at the same time. This is a completely new effect, and this pretty much, I believe, would solve Yan's problem. So like Yan's initial problem is when she does her water bolo thing and it bounces stuff. When that bolo is out, when that water ball is out, she cannot cast again. Like, she will have to stay at full mana and wait until the existing bolo hits finish, and then she will cast the skill. So she can't have multiple water bolos just smacking stuff left and right. So now you can have up to 2 waves of the skills out on the battlefield at the same time, which is huge, actually huge, in my opinion. Like, this will, man, if you guys had played in the past, like, I don't know how long you guys been playing King God Castle, but with Yan was meta, man, like those giant comps, oh man, like Yan meta is back. I don't know. So this is nice. Now they actually include the reasonings down below in obviously English. It used to be in the cafe and it wasn't in the English audience. So now let's see. So Yan wasn't, so obviously the English is not like, great, but Yan wasn't used next skill unless the previous wave remains, so the base mana option was very inefficient. Yes, therefore we merged the level 8 potential with base skill and then added a new effect essentially. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really add too much insight on, they just kind of explained it, right? But this is a very nice change for Yan, man. Like, it is huge. Like, they buffed her. So the previous kind of changes, the major ones that they did on Yan, her cast speed of her skill actually increased. So, like, the water bolo ball thing, it actually traveled, like, faster, right? The animations were faster. So now she can have 2, and that was, like, pretty much, like, her hugest con was that she could not have 2, like, multiple skills up at the same time. This is amazing change. I do love me some Yan. So Ren HP max increase. So Ren had good stuff, and sometimes with her potential that received mighty blocks, but nowadays there are many kinds of multi-hit skills than before. Mighty blocks value of Ren is decreased. To make her durability better, they gave her more HP so she can survive longer. So pretty much like Ren can be kind of squishy sometimes. Her main thing is that she auto generates innately mighty blocks, and then when that's gone, then she's kind of like, she's just dead, right? So this is a nice change. 14%, I think that's nice. Ren players would be happy. Another Ian nerf, man. I'm a part of the camp that I want to see this guy down into the ground personally, but Ian fans can still rejoice. Decrease 20% of max HP. Now, this is very important because his damage did not get nerfed. His ratios did not get nerfed. He just got squishier. So let's see what they say. Ian is currently showing versatility and variety content. Yes. Among Ian's advantages, the part of attacks enemies within the range is maintained and the durability is adjusted. We hope to maintain usage in invasion and reduce usage in arena. We hope to maintain usage in invasion. How about raid? I'm curious. They never really mention raid viability. So we hope to maintain usage in Invasion. I mean, even if you nerfed him like damage wise, like, I mean, Invasion, I don't think you need to worry about Invasion, bro, but reduce usage in Arena, please. But yeah, it is very interesting to see. So like, don't worry, Ian did not get clapped, okay? Like, he still is going to one-shot your team, okay? His damage is still there. It's just that he's a bit more squishy, so you can blow him up more. Kind of similar, to be honest, how I felt about Kathy when she was released. She was just, why is this character so tanky, right? Like, she needs to have some kind of drawback where I can just burst her down before she actually one-shots me, right? So like, that is kind of the idea. But don't worry, Ian fans, he still has his godlike damage, will still one-shot you. Yeah. He's just a little more squishy. Ophelia, man, I was wondering when they're gonna do this buff. So they increased her buff by 30, almost 50%, bro. It is kind of insane. So they increased her spell power by a lot, which is very important because she had an insanely low spell power. Now it changes, her targeting is to the highest tier, which is very common to other heroes. Now they changed their her level 8 potential to trigger at 70%, not full health, because the full health, man, like, it is not likely that you're going to be maintaining full health for a very long time. So more than 70%, it makes a lot of sense to get that. So let's see what they have to say. Ophelia is designed to weaken and attack the opponent's key hero and survive itself. However, Ophelia is not only difficult to use skills for key hero, but is also not used significantly because it is not enough stats to perform her role. So this is her spell power, base spell power being very low when she was released. So we changed the skill target, increased spell power, and make easier to use level 8 potential. So I mean, she's not gonna be your solo carry hero, you know what I'm saying? Like, she is meant to weaken and attack opponent's key hero and survive itself. This is not gonna be your raid hero, boys. It is not gonna be your raid hero. But yeah, it should, this right here, the spell power increase should make her at least usable. All right, so next one, Alter Relic. Man, this update is huge. Alter Relic Renewal. This has got to be one of my most anticipated change. I am so looking forward to this. So these are adjusting the Alter Relics, the base one based on your altar, like the Alter Relics, right? So they are saying right here, so they're adding new options to Alter Relics, which is corruption relics at the altar, increase the altar level. Alter Relics were added to update of the relic system. Their utility gradually decreased as other relics were added later. Yep, they are no longer used as much. More diverse strategy will emerge through the addition of new effects on the 6 Alter Relics. Yeah, so they changed this in the past, made it a little better. Okay, it was better, and now it's even crazier. These are actually viable. So Light of Glory, Alter Relics, if you don't know, there is a Alter Relic when it's kind of like beginner relics essentially. There is one based on each of the 6 base altars, right? Like hero, blacksmith, stuff like that. So this is the hero one, Light of Glory. So all of these have kind of like general effects. So they give you plus whatever altar points, right? But now they tagged on this unique ability to each one, and it is crazy. So Light of Glory, I'm just gonna be looking at the last number here because this is the max tier 4 relic, and let's be honest, like when you get relics in this game, you want tier 4 of them. So I'm not gonna even bother with this. 20% chance of additional level up when using Book of Power. Book of Power is the ones that you use on your units to automatically tier them up, right? So the Altar of Heroes is specialized in making high tier heroes. The use of Light of Glory allows users to enjoy the additional level up of altar tiers unique effect while use of Book of Power. So not that much information, but it's just explaining what it does. So basically, whenever you use a book, so if you have this, whenever you use a book on a unit, you have a 20% chance to auto tier up. So it's like it's like a double up using a book. So which is really crazy because you can use this, for example, for modes that you start with books. So like, for example, I believe the Goblin Expedition, you start with books. So if you use this, then if you use books on a unit, then boom, you can get double ups easy like that. It's a really nice effect in my opinion. You can run like, you know, Light of Glory with Blacksmith is a really crazy synergy. There's a lot of econ, a lot of double ups there. So it is crazy good. It's crazy good. Hammer Blaze. So Hammer Blaze, you know, this is the plus altar points, and then the additional effect is 15% chance of additional tier up when combining equipment. which is kind of insane, dude. It is kind of insane. The altar blacksmith is specialized in acquiring higher grade weapon through smelt, reroll, smelt, tier up. The use of the hammer ablaze allows the use of higher grade equipment through additional tier ups and equipment merging. So when you merge equipments in, like, there are no double ups happening with equipments, right? With this relic, you can actually double up your merging of equipments, which is kind of insane. You merge 2 tier 2 bows and you can get a tier 3 bow, you know, and it is kind of crazy. It's kind of like Altar of Hero, but for weapons. And this is crazy. Like, this effect in itself is insane, and you can get a lot of great weapons real fast. It's just really crazy to see. Next one, Bloodstained Sword. I'm excited about this one, man. Like, this is an insane relic. So you get the Altar of Blood, of course, and then you have 30% chance to negate the destruction of the Mighty Block. Now, if you are running 15 blood or 10 blood, you're getting a ton of Mighty Blocks already. And if you're running Shield of Gladiator, which is like one of the best defensive options you can get right now, you are getting a lot of Mighty Blocks. And you have a 30% chance for that to not go away when you receive an attack is insane. Definitely insane for PvE. Like, crazy good, like, just farming, like, against any bosses. It is crazy good. The Mighty Block is one of the main effects of the Altar of Blood. Bloodstained Sword as the probability of non-destructive effects of Mighty Block, further enhancing the benefits of acquiring the Mighty Block. It is crazy, and I am pretty sure that this applies to all Mighty Blocks that you have on that team when you use it. So, for example, it applies to any generated Mighty Blocks as well. So, for example, like Ren Mighty Block, I imagine that it applies to that. It applies to Mara generator, her Mighty Block when she does her skill. And then, of course, well, I have to mention Shilda with her Mighty Blocks. I'm pretty sure this would cause this would apply to that kind of effect for those heroes, not just for the Mighty Blocks that are generated from Blood Altar, right? I'm pretty sure if it doesn't apply, it is not as good. It is not as good. I'm pretty sure that's how it works, but we're gonna have to see when it comes out. Next one, Guardians. Yeah, this one is the one that I am least excited about, in my opinion. So you essentially get the cleave, the axe rune effect in Great Rift, if you guys know what I'm talking about. So you get it on a normal attack. There's a 4-second cooldown. You deal like this 3x3 range based on max HP. It is nice. I don't love it, you know, like, I don't love it. You know, they like took the rune that I wasn't excited about at the beginning, and then they're taking that effect that I wasn't enjoying, and then they're putting it onto this altar relic. So I'm not that thrilled about it, but yeah, damage proportional. This is what it does. So we add ability. Yeah, so basically, yeah, we took the effect from Great Rift and added it to this thing, and you know, I don't know how I feel about it. This is definitely the least hype for me. Next one, Corrupted Holy Grail. This is the mage one. You get 25% mana to 2 heroes with the highest tier at the beginning of battle. This is crazy. Like, I think this is insane. So the Altar Mage is focused on getting mana, being able to cast faster than the opponent is one of the greatest strengths of the Altar Mage. To maximize the strength, the Holy Grail now has more advantage in acquiring mana faster in the beginning rather than just providing a larger amount, which is crazy because I'm pretty sure you can do a non-mage build and just do a 1-slot Corrupted Holy Grail, and maybe you have to do like a few points in the mage, but then you can go away without having to run 10 full mage, you know what I'm saying? Like, so there is some options there, which is kind of interesting to see how it pans out. But this is really good, man. 25% MP to 2 heroes like at the start of battle is no joke. It is no joke. I mean, it's getting MP at the start of battle is the best effect, and that's the reason why you are running mage in the first place. So if you can get this, it built in, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Next one, the greed one. So you can pay 3210 silver to refresh Wandering Merchant shop once. So this is very similar to how they do the Tower Trials merchant shop, or any merchant shop, I guess, like in other modes where you can like refresh. So now you can, like, you know, re-roll. I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't. But I mean, at highest tier, it's free to refresh. So that's really good. Like, I'm not looking at that. We're looking at tier 4. So it's free. you get a free refresh on Wandering Merchant Shop. So you can buy out a lot of stuff. So it is really good, in my opinion. The Altar for Greed offers more silver gain, efficient trading with merchants. This allows you to do more trading. Yeah, basically, you get a free refresh. You know, instead of 3 items, you get it's 3 items, right? It's 3 items, you get 6 items, right? It's really good. It's really good. Yeah, we're gonna see. So yeah, so I mean, all of these are amazing. The only one that I don't really like is the giant one personally, but yeah, these are really strong now, contenders for sure. It definitely shakes up a lot of the builds, and I just love these kind of additions and changes because like it changes the strategies, right? Like more strategy. It's a strategy game. Allow me to strategize and use new relics, new heroes. I don't want to use the same crap all the time, you know. That's just me though. But yeah, those other relics, huge new summoning blessings. I don't really care about that. You shouldn't either. You don't use your gems and resources on this. Okay, this is straight bait. Straight bait. Only use this if you manage to get a scroll of blessing, which is rare in itself. And man, to be honest, I'm gonna tell you guys, it's straight bait. Don't use it. Okay, just don't spend gems or anything. If you have the summon the blessing scrolls and you saved it up, use it. But it's bait. Don't use your actual resources on that. 2 new skins. So this is the new skins that we talked about for the Northern Festival Elven area. You know, look at the effect. You know, nice. I like it. Iron Fist skin. This skin is sick, man. This is based on the Orc boss. This skin is sick. Look at this skin. Now, from memory, this is the. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of skins, man. He does have the snow one. This is the first skin that he has that his skill actually changes color, because he has the limited skin. And then, which, you know, obviously the effects don't change. And then he has the snow one. And from my memory, the snow one, his effects is still the same, the colors and everything. This one actually changes the color at least. It is awesome. It's freaking awesome. I'm happy about this one, man. This is like 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 event skin. Bug fixes. That is it. Okay. Now we're going to go back to the raid org. So raid reorganization. After season 32, let's just read this. This is very crazy, dude. Like after season 32, Alliance raid is reorganized as raid. Now I want to emphasize reorganize. Alliance raid needs Alliance to participate, but raid doesn't need alliance. Now, a lot of people are reading this sentence and just registering it as this is a completely different mode. Now, I can see, I don't think it's going to be a different mode because they use the word reorganize, and whenever they say reorganize, it is a completely revamp, and it doesn't really make sense to, for me, is that for them to make a separate mode just for like personal raid, right? So I don't think it's a separate mode. I think it is a revamp of the existing mode, and I just think it's just bad kind of localization and things like that, and advertising, to be honest. But let's just read on. They did announce that they are going to do like a patch more further in depth about the reasonings and what entails in this raid reorganization, because we need details, and because this in itself does not explain what's changing, what's happening, you know, in black and white, right? But let's just go through this. Reorganized raid. So the reorganized raid, right, the new mode, okay, includes the following purposes. So let's just personalized boss battle, simplification of building troops. So these are their missions that they're trying to set out to do with this revamp, and then these are the reasons. So this is about the alliance interaction. This is about building the troop, and this is about like the bosses. Okay, so let's just look at the personalization, right? So personalization, play raid without alliance. Man, that is bad. That's a bad title, man. I mean, I'm sorry, AWESOMEPIECE, that is a bad title. A lot of people are reading this and they're just like, play raid without alliance, so alliances don't matter, right? That means alliances are dead, and then that means raid is dead. That means KGC, Kinggodcastle, is dead, and I don't think that is the case. They're just trying to kind of promote this, in my opinion. It is put in a bad way, to be honest with you, but we can keep on reading and see why that might be. So raid boss and get reward without inner alliance. So they're trying to like hype this up, right? So they're saying raid boss, get reward without entering an alliance. Alliances still compete with each other. Their ranks are determined by the sum of the highest scores of each alliance members. Isn't that great? You know, that's kind of like their vibe, right? That's what they're trying to do. They're trying, unfortunately, unfortunately they're trying to hold back a lot of the nitty-gritty details that you know, when you're playing raid, you're trying hard, right? So I mean, I get it, I've been there. So Alliance, you know, they're trying to approach it to where it's kind of like they're trying to hype it up and trying to high level detail it, but unfortunately it doesn't really pan out too well, because like the localization, like I said, details aren't really you know, explained thoroughly, and it's just kind of, you know, it creates a lot of confusion, right? A lot of confusion, and like, oh, okay, so what are you changing? This sucks, right? So playing without an alliance, that's kind of crazy in itself. So just based on this, alliance still can compete with each other, and their ranks are determined by the sum of the highest scores of each alliance member. So alliances are still existing, it is still here. It's just that the way that you are calculating scores is completely different. So if you guys aren't familiar with raid, like some of my audience, they don't play raid. So raid, you have one boss. It is the one boss that all of your alliance members like are fighting to defeat. Like, it is live updated, health are shared, like everyone is fighting one guy, right? So you go take the boss health down, you're like pinging your guys, and you're like, hey, the boss is at 20,000, how about your team goes first, because you're the best to bleed into the next boss, and you guys are cooperatively taking down this one boss in a cycle, and you guys are rinsing and repeating until you're getting as far as you can in that cycle, right? So now what they're doing is that each member is having their own boss cycle. Like, you have their own bosses, right? And it is not dependent on your other members. It is independent. Those are your bosses, and you are smacking those bosses for the highest score, and then your highest score is getting summed up by your alliance, and then some of your alliance score is going to go on the leaderboards, and that is supposedly how it's going to work. Now, like I said, they're releasing an official statement on these details later, so, you know, unless, you know, that comes out and then all of my assumptions are completely wrong, you can tell me, right? But yeah, that is my assumption and my interpretation of this right now. Alliances are not going anywhere. Raid competition is not going anywhere. You can still raid. You can still have an alliance. Alliances are still important, because that's how you get leaderboards, right? And raiding is more or less, you know, we're gonna see. So this is the how, right? This is the how. This is about the actual raid. Okay, this is about the actual raid system. So they are actually revamping this simplification of building troops. So this is kind of insane. Building troop stage decreased from 10 to 5, which is insane. So now it's like arena rounds and like tower trial rounds, 5 rounds to build your team. They removed divine power completely. Thank you. I mean, to be honest, I wish they just retooled divine power to do something else, so we have actually like strategic options to choose, except for just picking silver, right? Everyone picks silver, right? No one picks divine power, you know, except for, you know, Rosette building, you know what I'm saying? But that doesn't exist anymore. But the next one, so this is great. This is great. Remove, I mean, I wish they retooled it, like I said. But next one, store troops in troop inventory until 15. I have no freaking clue what this means. No clue. You can apparently store troops. No clue. I'm going to assume, this is just assumption, okay? This is assumption that mercenaries, everything will stay the same. I don't see any reason to remove it. Like I said, we don't know the specific details, but I'm gonna say raid, like, mercenaries will largely stay intact, but this one's fine, whatever. I don't know what this means. This 10 to 5 is pretty freaking huge. It depends on the econ and how much they plan on giving, how much silver you're getting, like which ones are rounds, like how are you going to treat it like arena? We have no clue, but 10 to 5 is huge. This changes like literally it changes everything. You're forming with less rounds, and hopefully they are scaling the resources. Like, it's the same resources but in 5 rounds, right? But there's some stuff that you can do in 10 rounds, just duration of the rounds within 10 rounds that you can't do in 5, right? So there's a lot of strategies involved and stuff like that. Like, you know, round 3 tier 7 lunaire, probably can't do that anymore. Maybe we can get round 1 tier 7 lunaire, right? Like, who knows, right? But this is kind of crazy to see them changing it to have, which the flip side of it is that it is faster to make your team, right? Like, it's less time, you know, like I said, simplification of building troops, right? That's what they're trying to do. And that, you know, until we get more confirmation on what, you know, or like actually doing it, right? Like how many resources that we're getting and things like that. So okay, next one, reorganization boss battle. So the bosses, okay, this is regarding the bosses, only 2 bosses for each season. You can see that it was blood into greed, which is really bad, a really bad combination. Like, you know, probably the worst combination. Like, okay, as long as it's not hero into blood, please don't give me hero to blood, please. Don't give me hero blood, which is completely possible, by the way, because blood into greed doesn't exist. Blood into greed doesn't exist. You usually have giant mage, so you usually have blood, giant mage, then greed, right? Blood into greed doesn't exist, and it exists now, so I wouldn't put it past them to do hero into blood. That is a bad season. That is a season I do not want to play. So yeah, choose difficulty of raid boss. So I'm assuming your highest score is going to be based on the difficulty of raid boss. So that means that if you are a new player and you struggle with raid and score, your score will be lower, but your difficulty will be lower, right? But the thing is, raid bosses are super easy. Like, they don't do a lot of damage. Who really cares about what they do, really, anyways? I'm going to assume that these raid bosses can go really hard, really fast, and you can get a higher score. And so pretty much, basically like Tower Trials, right? Like Tower Trials challenges, so you can have a difficulty with raid bosses and increase that score. So if you can do max score for a boss, like, it better be hard. I'm assuming it's going to be hard, man, which is exactly what I wanted when to adjust for raid bosses. I wish raid bosses smacked me so hard that I need to use a freaking Aga tank with armor, with a healer. Force me to use a healer every raid boss fight, please. Like, I don't want to just make crazy damage comp, glass cannon, survive. Who cares about the boss smacking me? I want my units to die, right? I want my units to die. I want raid bosses to feel like bosses. That is just me, though. I am very much in the minority. I feel if you guys feel the same way, like, let me know in the comments. I feel like I'm like, usually when I think about this stuff, like, I'm usually in the minority, I feel. So let me know. But I want raid bosses to smack me like bosses, you know what I'm saying? So choosing difficulty, I'm so excited about this. Choose difficulty, you get higher score. Yeah, I know a lot of people, they don't want it to be like Tower Trials. I get it, but I am kind of sick and tired of bosses not acting like bosses and they're just punching bags, right? I want to fight a mage boss that is smacking me so hard with beams and just destroying my team, and I'm needing to use something and picking another hero strategically to keep my units alive through positioning or whatever, right? Like, that is just how I feel about it, but I'm very excited about this. I don't know if you guys are. Start divine power for each troop fixed to 10. So they are deleting divine power on building troop stage. So you can't actually, so from this statement up here, you can't choose between divine power and silver anymore. Just, you know, everyone picks silver anyway, so they just took it out. But you still have divine power, and it's fixed at 10 when you start your troop. And so I'm just gonna assume that based on your difficulty, this will give you more divine power. I mean that makes sense, right? So more difficulty, you get more stuff, right, for your team. So maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's how they're combating it. You know what I'm saying? Like, start divine power for each troop fixed at 10. I don't know why, if this can't change, why have divine power in the first place, right? So I'm gonna assume that divine power is here to stay and that you can adjust this somehow through difficulty. That is a pure speculation, not sure. Okay, so continue raid with other troops until done. I have no clue what this means. So what is peculiar about this is that over here, you simplifying building troops, you can store troops in troop inventory until 15. I have no clue what that means, and I'm assuming this is connected to this. We don't know if I'm going to assume mercenary system still exists. Well, I'm going to assume that 2 teams still exist, because 2 teams is very it's built in already in existing systems like Tower Trials and stuff. So I'm assuming 2 teams still exist. I'm assuming flags still exist. I'm assuming 30-second rounds still exist. Like, we have no clue how that, like, this, it could go so many ways, but from what I can tell, there is a difficulty for raid boss, and there is a sum of higher scores. So I'm going to assume it's going to function similarly to how scores kind of do in Tower Trial. So that is kind of really all we know. There's a difficulty slider, and you can get a high score. And then your high score is being summed up, and then your alliance will get ranks based on your high score. And that is pretty much all we know. Like besides that is like we have to wait until the official announcement of like the details. The fact of the matter is that raid is still here. You still need an alliance. It's still going to be competitive. Alliances aren't dead. You still need the bonuses and stuff. You can still raid. So people are saying that, oh, coordination and things like that. Like you can still kind of coordinate and you can still grow your alliance community and things like that. Like it doesn't change the fact that you can still share raid knowledge and get higher scores, and team build and raid forming is just a new kind of raid forming and new teams. And who knows how crazy this difficulty raid boss slider is. So overall, I do enjoy this update. We just need more details on the black and white of it. They decided to kind of hold back information and kind of flipped on its head because, you know, it kind of implies certain things, but it doesn't tell you completely what it really entails. But overall, I think it's great for new players. I mean, I personally love it, man. Like I hate doing the same thing over and over again, and raid has been like the same thing over and over again, to be honest, for the most part. And I am all for change, like big changes, but I get it. There's an alliance, like the alliance culture has been made, and like it's centered around raid. Like it's just centered around raid coordination, like getting as far as you can. And if I was still competing in raid like very seriously, then from this, like I'm like, the one thing that I'm concerned about are dependent bosses. I loved dependent bosses. One boss is dependent of everyone, right? Like everyone is taking down one boss and it is not independent. And if it's changing to independent bosses, I would be salty for sure. I would be salty for sure, because one of the main draws about raid alliances for me, if I was still competing, is that I love the fact that there is one big boss and we're trying to cycle it out and coordinating, right? That is my thing. And if they're taking it out, I mean, I'd be mad too, right? But we don't know if it is an independent boss cycle or dependent boss cycle. That is a very key factor. Like I don't really get any specifications on that from here. If anything, it is leaning towards independent bosses, meaning that each player has their own cycle and it's just the sum of the high scores, right? So that is what I would interpret this as, but we don't know for sure, so we just need more details. But anyways, this was a long one, boy. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. You know, Cain update, you know, you have your altar stuff. Like unfortunately the altar update and like, you know, all the balances and stuff is getting overshadowed by this raid reorganization, but there's a lot to be excited about too. The altar relics, you know, the hero balancing. But man, raid org, let me know in the comments below. Like, do you guys love this? Do you guys hate this? Do you guys don't care? You know, I know a lot of people don't care about raid. It is very surprising, you know, like there's a lot of people that do raid, but like there's even more people playing not raid, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm personally a Great Rift player myself, you know what I'm saying? But you know, Great Rift is fun. You know what? Play the mode or things and do the things that you find fun. Like even though the rewards from it is not like the min-max, you know, play the thing that you have fun and spend your food on. Like Great Rift is the thing. Without Great Rift, I don't know where I'll be, to be honest. To be completely honest, Great Rift is like the mode that kind of keeps me back and booting up the game, to be honest with you, and of course making content for it. I love doing that. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought about this update. You know, what you like, what you dislike. Just let me know. As always, thumbs if you like this, subs if you loved it, and I'll see you next one. Later.